Hello and welcome to Teleislas News, the most important news of the day.
In a press conference, the commander of the police department of San Andres announced the important captures of 2 individuals who were required for the crimes of aggravated extortion, conspiracy to commit crimes, the use of minors for the commission of crimes, among others.
This report is about the capture of Jordan Orlando Piuzzi, 29 years of age, native of the island of San Andres. This citizen was required by the Municipal Criminal Promiscuous Court of Old Providence Island for the crime of conspiracy to commit crimes, the use of minors for the commission of crimes, and aggravated extortions.
Today, through an articulated work between units of the Gaula, Sihin, with all the technical capacity, because here some monitoring, control, and accompaniment activities were carried out to achieve the location of this person who was in the city of Cali, from where he continued to commit crimes while causing damages in our island. Responsible for many of the extortions we have had so far this year.
During the investigation carried out by the officials, it was established that the captured person would be the second in command of the common organized criminal group called La Mano de Dios, which is translated Hand of God, and he was in charge of ordering the collection of extortion to traders and shopkeepers. There are evidences that Piuzzi has a criminal record for the crimes of trafficking, manufacturing and carrying of weapons, extortion, homicide, violence against public servants, threat to witnesses, and robbery. He was immediately transferred to departmental and will be handed over for the prosecutor's office. The departmental commander also announced the capture of Ivan Dario Pineda, who was also part of the Piuzzi criminal group and who was wanted for extortion to shopkeepers and merchants on the island.
Members of the Raizal Authority and the departmental government describe as successful the roundtables that conclude this afternoon. During the meeting, important issues were discussed for the benefit of the Raizal community, among them the creation of the Raizal Fund.
Alberto Gordon, president of the Raizal Authority, gave to Teleislas News a good assessment of the conclusion obtained at the roundtables that have been taking place since Tuesday, March 23rd until today, March 26th. With satisfaction, he announced the achievement obtained.
We talk about the curul, or the Raizal seat before Congress, which we have had consensus and has been approved, which is the first great thing we have accomplished in this long week. The second very important thing is the system of government or of justice in us, and I think that's a great one. And the final one, of course, has to do with the Raizal Fund, which is created so that all the money that was taken confiscated from the building of Paciente will now be transferred into this fund that is going to be managed, articulated also with different actors, including the Raizal Authority.
The community will be monitoring this draft ordinance to be approved in the Departmental Assembly. Regarding the issue that remain unfinished, a new date will be set for a meeting between the administration and the island population, including the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina, who were also presented during these days.
And today, the campaign Holy Week Safe and with Self-Care was launched, in which the police of the department seeks to raise awareness and provide security over the Holy Week.
The commander of the police department said that they will increase the force on the island to ensure the safety of the nearly 17,000 tourists who will come to the archipelago during the Holy Week. In addition, they will provide assistance in all touristic sites of the archipelago during the week.
Además de ese capital humano,
In addition to the human capital, we will have a whole institutional logistics, among which we highlight a significant and new vehicle fleet to travel the length and breadth of the island. In the same way, we will have this vehicle fleet represented in some means of transport, in the likes of four-wheelers, motorcycles, and bicycles, in which we will make permanent patrol.
Similarly, the commanders say that they will have technological support through drones that will travel around the island to ensure the safety of visitors and islanders. However, it is valid to emphasize that the campaign seeks to bring the best recommendation to the islanders' inhabitants. The first is self-care and keep in mind that the virus is not over. Likewise, the national and local government will take into account all the measurements to be taken during the Holy Week with respect to the regulation of schedule and curfews.
And the Secretary of Health, Julian Davis, informed that the vaccines designated by the Minister of Health, Fernando Ruiz, for the island of Providence will most likely arrive tomorrow and that they will begin to be applied on a massive scale for the inhabitants over 18 years of age, starting this Monday, March 29.
This vaccination process in Old Providence, the 4,000 and some doses that we have been designated to vaccinate the entire population of Old Providence over 18 years old. We are waiting for these doses to arrive tomorrow, Saturday, here in the department. We will be waiting to see if they are going to send us the total amount that has been announced by the Minister of Health or if it will be a partial shipment.
On the other hand, the Secretary announced the possible starting date for the vaccination in the municipality.
In the same way, we are going to start vaccination on Monday. It is scheduled to start mass vaccination in Old Providence according to the zones that have been defined after Hurricane Iota.
Finally, the health official informed that the Nueva EPS will be linked to the vaccination process, taking into account that it represents the majority of the users of the sister island.
It is already coordinated with the ESE. There will be participation with the Nueva EPS, which is the EPS that has the majority of users with 95%. We will have approximately 10 vaccination teams and with a goal of carrying out the mass vaccination to complete it in 3 to 4 days.
It is worth clarifying that the mass vaccination in Old Providence will not discriminate by age range, but will be applied to all the inhabitants, carrying out all the stage in one, given to the level of risk that the population runs due to the massive arrival of reconstruction equipment as it relates on the island when it comes to contracting COVID-19.
And in other news, the departmental government issued a statement on the decision of the administrative court to suspend the entry of vehicles to the archipelago.
Last March 17, the Administrative Court of the Department, through this document, decreed as precautionary measure the suspension of the entry of vehicles to the island territory until the Ministry of Transport enables an entry to carry out the disintegration process and the Departmental Secretariat of Mobility verifies the actual operation of the company. Days after this decision of the court, the Coral Palace has decided to pronounce itself through this press release on the precautionary measures, and I quote, "The government is advancing the procedural step before the court of the total and definitive lifting of the precautionary measure. Likewise, we clarify to the community that the effects of this suspension of the entry do not extend to vehicles that have obtained the right of resistance before March 12 of 2021, the date on which the court notified the decree of this measure. Therefore, they may enter the department as long as the transit and shipment of the same is completed." The government indicated that currently on the island there is a company, Car Recuperadora Naranjo Recycling, that is authorized by the Ministry of Transportation to carry out the process of vehicle disintegration since 2019.
And now we continue with all information from our sister island of Old Providence. After the announcement by the Minister of Health about the amount of vaccines against COVID-19 that will arrive to the municipality, the community shared their opinion about this topic.
Providence natives expressed mixed feelings when they learned of the soon arrival to the municipality of 4,092 vaccines against COVID-19 manufactured by the Chinese biotech company Sinovac. Some want it, others don't know, and others have decided to wait.
You hear so much opinion about this vaccination, so it makes you confused a lot. I let me want to take it. Maybe they might obligate me or obligate us to take it.
I believe it's not enough research to support this vaccine. I don't believe that's enough time to develop a vaccine. People with different conditions will have different adverse reactions. So I don't believe that this vaccine should be taken in Providence.
It is necessary to vaccinate the island because there haven't been any serious cases. Protect the island. So if anyone come with virus, they don't affect the community. But the people must come in to accelerate the construction of the houses because the poor is getting wet and the rich has roofs.
Outsiders who reside in Old Providence share their perspective.
Yo creo que cuanto antes el mayor número de gente.
I believe that the sooner the more people are vaccinated, the faster we will finish with this pandemic. If they vaccinate all on the island, and all arriving this island will be free of virus, increasing the possibility to bring tourism in the future.
Others have questions.
Then decide that they want to do the vaccine for the whole island. It's good that the government remember we, yes. But why they don't do the vaccine for those people who is coming in? Make it be a rule, who is coming in, get the vaccine, and then we see how the reaction go for the couple months.
The vaccines will arrive tomorrow, and the inoculation process will start on Monday.
And the construction of the first 2 new houses is progressing in Old Providence, even though there has not been a complete dissemination on the changes in it. Teleislas consulted with some members of the community about their perception of what is being built.
Some members of the community are concerned about the changes in the structure of the new houses, since what they've been showing is the design of the facade. But the structural changes have not yet been shared with the community.
The structural design don't socialize with the community, and the little that then socialize with the community from the structure don't comply in this design that they have, because them promise the community a bunker we have a cement room pour tap with a bathroom and a kitchen pour.
And then talking about like just put a facade out of cement, just fix up a part out of cement on the outside, which is something completely different from the agreement that I understand that the architect from Providence talk about to the first, making it secure for hurricane.
On the other hand, local constructors gave their opinion on this house.
What I have on my phone screen, well, they are excellent for me, and with all my colleagues I've talked to, they tell me that the houses are excellent.
For others, they are much better compared to the previous social houses.
Now, you they put down your sapata and then they carry down partly one empty, and the iron is a better material.
Several have asked for the terms of reference for these new houses, but so far they report that they have not been delivered as yet.
And we continue with cultural news. Very soon on the screens of Teleislas, the 3rd season of Clip Fest will be launched, a competition that exploits all the capabilities of audiovisual media lovers. Chris and Bernard, in exclusive for this media, explain what it is about.
News about the Clip Fest 2021. On Saturday, April 10, on the regional channel Teleislas at 6 p.m., the version of the competition for the islanders on San Andres Island will be totally face-to-face. Participants in the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina and in the interior of the country will be completely virtually.
Community of San Andres, Old Providence and Catalina. I am Chris Bernard, and I bring you news and updates of what will be Clip Fest in its 3rd season, because there is already an official launch day, which will be this coming Saturday, April 10th at 6 p.m. here on our regional channel Teleislas. We will also be broadcasting it via Facebook Live and YouTube Live.
This season brings surprises for the community. Contestants will be able to participate in the musical and documentary categories as professional and amateurs.
And this information is aimed at all cultural promoters of the archipelago. Until April 22nd, the call for the registration of trajectories or careers will be open.
If you are a creator or cultural promoter, this information is of your interest. The Secretariat of Culture invites you to show your innovation, imagination, and creativity for the call for registration of trajectory in the Tamarind Tree Cultural Center on the Hill. To participate, you will need a citizenship card amplified at 150. The card is for women up to 57 years and man up to 62 years old. You will need also to bring the EPS certificate, also a FIDA-VIT or declaration of authenticated statements of the trajectory, biography, and evidence of the same. The process will be carried out until the 22nd of April from 8 in the morning to 12 in the noon and from 2 until 6 in the evening.